Welcome to Lesson 6, Animating the Scene. That's pretty professional sounding.
That was cool. It's like a movie trailer.
Yeah, it was. Cool. All right, guys, in this video here, what we're going to do is provide you with an overview of the lesson, Animating the Scene. There's a lot of videos headed your way in this one lesson.
Tons of content.
In fact, you're going to find over 20 videos. And why did we decide to add so many videos? Because we wanted to give you guys as thorough of an understanding and as solid of a beginner foundation as we possibly could to the world of animating inside of Maya. We're going to start out by taking a look at what animation is.
Right, we're going to clear up a lot of the misconceptions people have about what animation is and isn't inside of a 3D package.
That's right. And once we've established that understanding, we're then going to take a look at the different types of animation that Maya provides to you as the user. And there's quite a few of them. We've got keyframe animation, we've got reactive animation, also known as driven key animation. We've got nonlinear animation, we have path animation, we've got dynamic animation, we've got expressions, and we have constraint animation. Now, we're not going to dive into the details of all of these different types of animation methods, if you will.
No, because this lesson alone would add like 40 hours to the course.
But we are going to look at like keyframe animation. We're going to look pretty closely at that. We're going to look at the reactive animation pretty closely.
So you got to look at set-driven key. That's awesome.
Let's see. We're going to look at some dynamics. A little bit of dynamics is always good. We're going to look at some expressions. So those are the ones that we're going to cover kind of in depth.
Those are the focal points.
Now, from there, what we're going to do is we're going to move into keyframe animation. And we're going to spell it out. K-E... No, just kidding. We're really going to try to make it nice and clear as to what keyframe animation is, what you're doing, and how to manipulate it. From there, we're going to simply animate the ball. We're going to have our ball come to life. He's going to come through the door and jump out into the front of the stage, up onto his little chair, and get ready to do some singing. So, you know, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
After that, though, you know, the default keyframes we lay down is going to result in what's going to look like a rough animation for the ball.
It won't look like he's bouncing at all, but we'll see more of that later.
It's going to be more kind of floating. And this is where we're going to need to start talking about interpolation curves, or what's also known as animation curves. And for this, we're going to need to introduce you guys to the graph editor. And once we've provided that introduction, we'll then talk about animation curves and the various ways to go about manipulating them.
Right.
Once we've done that, we'll turn right back around and we'll refine the ball's animation. We'll make it look like he's bouncing as if he was really inside the scene.
Yeah.
Bouncing away, gravity's really affecting him, the whole 9 yards. From there, we're going to kind of step over to the side and introduce you guys to a new method of animation. We're going to start talking about set-driven key. And this is basically bringing in the use of reactive animation.
Definitely one of the most useful animation tools in Maya.
Absolutely. This is where we start focusing on establishing relationships between various attributes. This is really cool stuff. We're going to show you how to set up set-driven key scenarios, and then we're going to show you how to turn around and edit reactive animations. So in other words, scenarios that you've already established through set-driven key, how do you go about editing them?
How to change how they're moving.
That's right. And then from there, we're going to show you guys how to add and edit and delete custom attributes, because this becomes pretty important when you want to start setting up your own little control systems.
Right.
Once we've done that, we're going to use set-driven key to control both the door opening and the curtains. From there, we're going to take a look at deformers. Maya provides all sorts of different deformers that allow you to, well, deform the geometry in various ways.
Change the shape of an object.
That's right. And we've got some deformers that are going to provide some very useful or beneficial attributes, if you will.
We're going to make our ball look a little more cartoony by allowing him to squash and stretch as he bounces around.
That's right, which is where we can bring in a squash modifier or deformer. And we also have the ability to bring in a bend deformer as well, so that we can have this guy leaning forwards and backwards to make it really look like he's pushing off from the ground.
Yeah, he'll actually, our character, well, our ball will actually turn into a character, and he's going to look more like he's jumping and less like he's just arbitrarily bouncing through the scene.
That's right. Then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about control rigs, because we'd like to introduce you guys to a very simple control rig early on in this course.
Right.
Because we find them so powerful, and you know, the more advanced you become as a Maya user, you're going to find yourself using these a lot more often. So we're going to talk about basic control rigs. From there, we're going to introduce you guys to expressions, yet another method of animating inside of Maya. This is where we will be getting into a little bit of programming.
Little programming, little mathematics, but nothing too scary.
No, it's nothing bad at all, and we promise we'll make it nice and easy. And once we've introduced you guys to the basics of control rigs and expressions, we're then going to take that information, and we're going to take the set-driven key and custom attribute information, put it all together, and create an automation system that's going to handle automating the squash and stretch of our ball for us.
Right.
And it's also going to allow you, the animator, the ability to toggle back and forth with turn automation system on or manually control the squash and stretch.
Right, so in effect, you're going to see two ways to control the squashing and stretching of the ball. One where you'll be animating it by hand, and a second one where all of that will be automated for you while you animate.
That's right. So it's really neat because we're going to show you guys how to go in and take something that's been animated and delete all of that animation off so that we can start fresh with some new animation. And once you've seen these two different methods of animating an object, that allows you to really make a fair comparison between the pros and cons of each approach. So once we've done that and we've reanimated the ball using this new automation system that we put in place, we're going to explore some dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to take a look at how we can go about making our curtains look a little bit more like curtains.
More curtainy.
More curtainy, yeah, I like that. So when the curtains open, they sway back and forth, and when they close, they,
kind of sway around like fabric tends to do.
This is going to bring us into the wonderful world of soft bodies.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about them and a few other things as well, all dynamic related. So,
yeah, just a quick thing. We will not be doing that with Maya Cloth, so even those of you with just PLE, you'll be able to follow along just fine.
Absolutely. You guys will find it very interesting. Of course, this lesson is not designed to make you proficient with the use of soft bodies or actually any of these various methods that we're talking about. Again, we're just trying to establish a base foundation.
Right.
So with that, guys, go grab some coffee and let's get started.